You are listening to the Law Enforcement Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
All right, here we go. Now, it's an exciting day for me. I can lay on my back in my bed. I haven't been able to do that comfortably for quite some time. And it was pretty simple. And it is a spiritual battle to get healed, especially with all the deep state cursing me, along with their foreign nation cronies. So I was here yesterday. And I was thinking, what am I going to do? How am I going to stop this? Every time I lay in bed, it gets real bad. And it's not perfect, but it's almost there. But I still have all that tissue that has to heal. So a voice comes up through me. I'm oracling it. And it says, remove the 4-inch topper, memory foam topper from your bed, and remove the quilted mattress pad from the top of that. And as soon as I did that and I laid in bed, I was much better. That was last night. Then it wasn't the greatest all night. It was okay. I slept well enough. However, this morning, I began icing it. And because now I could lay in bed, I wasn't further fatiguing the muscles that were damaged and the tissues that were damaged. I haven't been able to lay down during the day but for a few minutes. So that didn't help. I finally figured out that if I could ice it, it would stay much more relaxed, and that's working. What it's doing is grabbing that sacral nerve. So the tissue got damaged. It's all swollen and irritated, and it's grabbing that sacral nerve, making it worse. So for quite some time this morning, I was pretty much symptom-free. It comes and goes a little bit, but I mean, compared to yesterday, oh yeah. Because now my tissues can rest and then restore. So I was very intuitively in March, scheduling early March, I guess it was, or late February, beginning to schedule physical therapy. And I could never get to it because of COVID-19. So I was getting massages through the years and it kept this kind of thing at bay, but I also stayed away from moldy environments. So I have a vehicle coming. I can't leave right away because I'm not well enough, but the vehicle will help me do my shopping. I had to give up a 4x4 for now until I heal this because there's no way that I would want to climb up into it. I'm sure if I tried hard enough, I could get up into it. But I got to go slow and let it all restore. And hopefully that works. So that voice was who it was. There's voices trying to say what it was. But remember I told you the son Jesus was going to try to heal me? Well, as soon as that happened, as soon as that began, everything began to change. So again, if you Google neuropathy and mold, you'll figure out how that works. If I do a few minute stretching exercise, it's like I did it for 3 hours because of the confused neurology from the mold. Now, that is related, I'm sure, to Persian Gulf. I'm sure I was not sensitive to anything until I came home from Persian Gulf. And that's when all the allergies and everything else began. Sensitivities. And of course, it's in record, and the VA is a piece of garbage, and that's what they're going to be regardless of what you do to change them. Because it's the people. Just like law. It doesn't matter what the law is. If people are into violating law in the FBI, then there is no law. In reality, there's just some sort of criminal enterprise concoction. So again, that's been happening. Hopefully it continues to heal. I mean, when it finally released, it was like somebody that had what do they call that? An epilepsy attack. My body was just spent because it finally relaxed. It's been tense for like a week and a half. So I stretched, and when it disappeared, I could feel the gluteus and the hamstrings are still inflamed and all that. So once that inflammation goes, and I'm glad to have done it without corticosteroids so far, because this is not a time period for that. I mean, theoretically, my immune system's well enough to do that and still survive, because I would be the type of person they would probably give steroids to if I came down with COVID-19, because generally I have a intense immune response. But then again, they might not. So every time I go outside, there's somebody there walking towards me without a mask. I mean, I'm like, okay. You go to the office here to get my mail, there's maskless people. People in the office don't need the mask because they have a plastic tarp separating the public from them. So I get, just getting to Lubbock, it's a lot less humid. That in itself will probably reduce some of the inflammation right there. There's no way it's as moldy as here, because you walk outside here, you can see the mold on wood surfaces, on trees. So it's not only indoor mold here, it's also outdoor mold. Can't get away from it. And I still have the drip, and there's no allergens out. There's no pollen. We're like almost to zero. And outside I breathe well enough. So when I couldn't swallow too well because of the pollen and all of the dryness that I was experiencing, I bought the humidifiers, and that probably made it worse in a way, allowed me to breathe. And then when I massaged all this, I felt great. And then I was like great for a day. I finally got rid of all the irritation around my neck area and my drainage tubes and my throat. And then within a day or so, I was injured again. But this keeps happening here, so these people are devils. Got devils running this place. Horrific. Conservative or liberal, I don't care. When you're a devil, you're a devil. So again, I know the president's trying to energize his base, but he might end up energizing Biden's base. Because Biden's hitting that sweet spot where he's non-offensive and he's going to try to do the best for everyone. Instead of saying, I'm going to do the best for these people, but not those people. That's the problem with energizing certain people. You have to be a little bit divisive. And during COVID-19, that may not work. I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm not telling you that he can't get elected at all. Because a lot of people may not even vote that are saying they're going to vote for Biden. So polls, and then the polls have to fit into the electoral college, and that is what it is. So again, it's going to be interesting. Next couple weeks, hopefully I heal. Now, I couldn't get to the point where I began to heal yet until last night and then today. I couldn't even get to that base spot. So I'm to the base of healing at this point. I bought a self-massaging machine, so hopefully I could do something with that. But I used to get massages all the time at the gym, at the Planet Fitness. So again, when people disrupt your life from the deep state, it throws everything out the window, and then something like this happens, and they know it. They think it's. Every last one of them thinks it's funny. They're sickos. They've been sickos their whole life. They're running around trying to create criminals all day, just in the microphone. So here we are again, COVID-19 surging. I was checking out Utah. Utah's interesting. What's going on there? A lot of different things. I was wondering if I wanted to go somewhere in Utah. And the thing is, if I could get myself well enough, I wouldn't even have to go to Lubbock for now. I mean, I go to Lubbock later. I could just leave my stuff here and travel someplace where it's not. If I could, some places they have massage therapy and there's no cases. I could just go back into massage therapy and physical therapy there. I'm not sure what, where, when, and why. But if I get well enough, I just go to Lubbock and just continue. And I stopped taking salt baths and all these things. And that's what I was doing for the longest to stay healthy. And that was the wrong thing. I couldn't figure out why I took a salt bath and then I was much better that night I slept real good. I was trying to figure out, how did I do that? What did that do? And then I figured it out. It relaxed all those tissues. And then it let go of that sacral nerve. So it's my hamstrings and my glutes grabbing the sacral nerve. They're all swollen. And I mean, I felt them. They were swollen and everything and hot and all that. And they're still hot and inflamed, but the swelling has gone down quite a bit. I don't know where this is going to end up. Hopefully things are well. It's funny because I was just told by UT Health that East Texas that my doctor's leaving by the end of August. And I'm thinking that's really weird because I'm leaving. So he did well enough while she was my doctor. And I don't know what she's going to do or what she's planning to do. But it's really interesting because, I'll probably have a telehealth appointment one more time and then move along. So it doesn't matter if I stay or not. I don't really have a doctor here. So Lubbock is much drier. That might be better. And my friend disappeared, one from Santa Fe. Hopefully she's well. I don't know what her situation is. But she's disappeared from Facebook land and from answering her phone. She went back and forth a couple times, and she, at one point she's like, well, don't worry about what I say. And I should have said, well, you disappeared. You shouldn't worry about what I say. And I'm wondering if she's blocked for me. I'm wondering if we're hacked apart. That's the part I don't know. Because hackers can stop phone calls and everything. So she was telling me something was messed up with her phone. She wasn't getting phone calls. So she was being hacked a certain way. Or they can make her believe that I'm the hacker. I mean, they can do all sorts of things when they're psychological warfare operators, especially criminal ones, like there is in the deep state. So I'm sitting here on an ice pad or laying here, broadcast. Not sure if I'm going to take the electric bicycle. I'm probably I might give it away. I might actually give it to somebody and tell them, hey, load all this stuff up in that van, load all this stuff up in that car, and just step to the side and let them do it. It's worth about $1,000, all the stuff I have on. I don't got that much stuff in here, but I might not feel like, moving it. I might not be well enough, but we'll see. I got 2 weeks to heal. Last time something happened, I healed in 2 weeks. But I definitely have to get more active, and I have to get into these salt baths, and I have to take a few more supplements and get my life back moving forward. But I enjoyed the apartments in Lubbock. They looked nice. Thought they were well constructed for the price. About $100 cheaper and about $100 to $200 better outfit here in Tyler, Texas. It's a shame we're so far out of line with keeping the surge down, but people just were inundated with this idea, and they still are. You can see them online telling them, don't let them make you wear a mask. And people actually having parties trying to catch COVID. It's insane. And I posted that video with that Houston woman. She's all mad that people are out there going to the bars and just partying when they need to wear a mask and stay at home, and they don't have the mask. Everything I was saying was above board and 100%. I mean, if you look at the news articles on COVID-19 technology, they think it's all exactly what I said back in March. A little bit of April. So deep state, I go, wow, I see, aren't you appreciative of your health? Oh, I always am, and I know everything you do can cause my health issues and does cause my health. So again, I am appreciative to God, but I'm not appreciative to Satan, to the deep state and our government has become. Let me see what this. And they're so political about all of the. Who thinks we should fire Dr. Fauci? Nuts. One for him, they probably would already impeached you. I mean, I think they would have been successful if President Trump had to run this by himself. Is he really serious? Fauci's a little strange, but not somebody you fire. Can't be in the government as long as he has and not be kind of out there at times. Done a great job, I think, trying to manage all of it. I would imagine Chinese would say that we should fire a Fauci. Probably put something online, and all of the conservative talking heads are buying into it, but it's actually coming from China. Bed Bath & Beyond manager cursed out somebody from Trump. Mask. Face. That part, we need to stop that kind of stuff. People don't need to be doing that. I'm looking on Twitter here. Something came up with Dr. David Samadi. What happened to the 6-foot distance, Mayor? But Samadi, so I mean, yeah, you got a point, but Samadi's so out there, it's not even funny. They keep putting this guy out there. The N95 mask is 0.1 micron. HEPA is 0.3 micron. And when they test HEPA filters, they found most of them, if not all, filter down to 0.1 micron anyway. They're only tested to 0.3. I just gave away my .3 micron air purifier to the guy that worked. She's obviously a Latino woman. She looks. She hates Donald Trump. Bed Bath and Beyond manager. So again, I don't, I don't know if that's being done to energize the space. What? The economy would not sustain a full frontal hit from COVID-19. It would never have sustained it. And people would have been in so much shock, they would have rioted over that, saying the government's killing us. It's so easy to hindsight is 2020, or I don't even think it's that. It's talking junk. I mean, the thing is, President Trump has to realize that thinking people, when they see him, realize that he gets tested every day and everybody gets tested around him and they're living that royal life. And he's just like, oh, no, you all, well, why don't you go without testing every day? Why don't you take all the testing away from the White House and just say everybody wear a mask? Or better yet, not even wear a mask. I mean, if it's so inconsequential, why are you even testing anyone? I mean, people are like, okay, you think we should do what? We don't get tests unless we're puking. At least now, no, I think they test pretty easily. But there was a time where they wouldn't test you unless you were puking. Like when I went, oh, you got pneumonia, but it doesn't look like COVID-19 pneumonia. So we're not going to test. So, I don't know what he's doing. It's just one thing after another. This is so stupid. To have COVID, you don't need to be sick or even have a test, and we're shutting down economies for this? Mass insanity. I don't know where that would come from. And here's one guy says, morgues in Texas, says all in Texas, but it's morgues in Texas, Arizona, and Florida have requested FEMA refrigerated trucks for the overflow of dead bodies. Well, we still have to wait for another week or two to figure out if it's going to last. But of course they're going to rise. They have to rise. We have so many people that have come down with it. But the question is, how far does it rise? Wait, here's it. But is it a? There is an issue already at a morgue. Again, this that's going to backfire if it actually gets out of control. And I guess what they'll do is goes, oh, they're just saying everybody's dying from it. They'll do that again, I guess. It worked the first time around. Well, I'm lying to you. People aren't really dying. They're just people that we die of a cold. They say it's COVID-19. I mean, this is how they do it every time. Well, again, he might pull it off. I mean, he's constantly intaking information, running it through the machine of electoral college. So it is what it is. But at least I can lay on my back. It's not 100%, but I'm like 75% better than I was yesterday. So thank Jesus for that. He was here trying to heal me. And I say try because we don't live in Jesus' world. This is not his Father's world, and it's not his world. So things don't always work the way that Jesus would like them to. When you say God is all powerful and everything is happening according to what God would have happen in a perfect world, then that's wrong. So you have to understand how that all fits together. Because remember, the God of this world is who? Not God, it's Satan. Satan's actually controlling what happens here, but God is controlling it at a higher level so that he brings everybody home. So again, it's salvation. Again, if God can, if something gets messed up and God gets you home, to God, he won. You're like, well, I was a missionary and I had an ATV accident and, that kind of thing. And they actually picked up on, they said, we win no matter what. She either survives and she's a missionary with us again, or, I don't know, her name was Allie Moore or something like that. Or she goes home to God and she wins, we win, because she's home with God. It's not something that's easy to wrap your mind around with your heart, but at least get your mind wrapped around it. So again, if we heal somebody, they might pass on. You see, because Satan's hold to keep them in a broken body is over. Not to say that we should abort babies and all that stuff. I don't even get into that argument. I let God decide that. See how easy that is? I know you all have a work, and it's laudable when it's laudable. But like I said, people that are saying people shouldn't get abortions are part of the mind that possess people to behavior that causes abortion or the need for abortion, and then the mind of them. So again, the inside is everything, and that's the spiritual world. You can say it both ways. Inside is everything, which means people making backdoor deals. But the inside to the inside is everything is the spiritual side of things. So let's heal my friend there. Dear Heavenly Father, please help my friend to find a way to contact me so that I know she's okay. And if there's something that is upsetting her, please let that pass, and may she be well-minded and happy again. I try to get her to calm down about the coronavirus. I mean, I could be pretty tight about it, but I try and explain to her that it's not like it's not like an acrobat. It doesn't have wings and fly into your house from outside necessarily. I mean, it could, but that's very slim. Those. All right. So, dear Heavenly Father, please give her peace, the peace she needs to contact me. And we pray this in the name of the glorious Son, Jesus, in the name of the Father, the Holy Ghost, Son. Praise God in all that you do.